Welcome to Deep Thought. Minimize your stress. And this is very important to minimize your stress. People have to understand something. A lot of sickness comes from stress. And not necessarily physical stress. I mean, I can understand that if you're on a job and, you put in a lot of physical effort. And I can understand that. And even then, you have to still take care of yourself. No, I'm talking about the stress that people get in their minds. That's one of the things. People are primarily stressed out mentally because what's stressing us out? A bunch of littles that don't have anything to do with anything important. Some news that has nothing to do with your life, but, it could be gossip. It could be something on these internet streets. It could be something and you getting stressed over it. It's like, why? Or something somebody is saying. And let me jump on that. Y'all know how, let me touch on that real quick. Because y'all know how I flow on this channel. It's like stream of consciousness. So I just go where it's flowing. And you know how many people, they get stressed out because of what somebody else says or does. But ask yourself something. Unless that person is directly, intentionally bothering you, why let it stress you out? It's really stressing out your demons. It's stressing you out. It's something within you that's stressing you out. And see, think about that. You're allowing something outside of you that's not going even directly against you. They're probably just existing. And I've talked about this recently, not letting people have space inside of your head. But think about something. You allowing that to stress you out. This person, people or events have no idea about who you are. It's really stressing you out because of something within. You need to address that. Because think about the stress, what it does. Like much sickness is caused by stress. Like high blood pressure. That's more stress because you're responding to something. So you have to be to a point where you're letting stuff go. You got to calm down. You have to ask yourself, okay, do I let this bother me or do I just walk away from it? And for the most part, unless it's something that's affecting you directly against you or something that could affect you in the future, you need to walk away from it. Because that stress can kill you over the long term. Think about it. Like I used the example of high blood pressure. If you constantly being stressed, you can eventually have a stroke. In fact, when people have strokes and heart attacks, it's not said as much, but a lot of times you could point to something that happened like just in their lives right beforehand. And it could be anything. You run into your mate in bed with somebody else in your home. Oh, that could be stressful. Or you find out some news about something, some bad news. That could be stressful. You got to try to minimize your stress as much as possible. And to that extent, I would say focus on the things that let me reword that. Don't focus on stuff that's not touching you directly or what people say, even if you disagree with it. Unless it's intentionally directed towards you, don't deal with it. Like one of the things I say, you get like in these YouTube streets, I'll use that as an example. People get upset about what certain content creators say, do. You get people coming after certain content creators. And I'm like, okay, does that affect you personally? As one content creator would always say, if it don't apply, let it fly. Does it affect you personally? Did they call your name? You can't worry about it. You got, in a space like this and really in life, there's going to be people who disagree with you. There's going to be people who, quite frankly, if they're in your presence, they're going to get on your nerves and stress you out. But what do you do? Unless they right there, you avoid that. You avoid dealing with that. This is very important. Because, I'm going to tell you what, and I'm going to speak from personal experience. My mind is on a lot of things. And one of the things I've had to work on, and I still work on it, not having my mind on a lot of stuff because it was bringing me stress. It was raising my blood pressure. So I was like, you know what? I got to let it go. Unless it's right in front of me or unless it has the potential of interfering with me in the future, I can't worry about it. Now, is it 100% you can do that? No, not at all. And indeed, sometimes stress can be good in a way because in the sense that, okay, you got this stress, you need to solve the problem. It lets you know. And that's normal. That's why I say minimize it. You can't get rid of it totally, but you can minimize it. And another way you can even deal with it is learn from different situations and then learn how to solve the problem. So, something comes up. You're not like, okay, like say, I don't care what it is. It could be, I don't know. You have a flat tire. Now, for someone who's never changed a tire before, that could be stressful, especially you're in a certain neighborhood, something, you're in the wrong place. But it's not as stressful if you got everything in your car, you got the jack, everything, you got a good spare tire. At most, you just might be slightly inconvenienced, but you're not as stressed. When you encounter any event, any stressful event, first deal with it and then learn to solve it next time. Learn to minimize your reaction to it, because that's the thing. When you're confident about solving a problem, you're not as stressed. Much stress comes from you're not knowing what to do in a certain situation. So always learn from everything. So, and you have to stress. I'm telling you, stress is a killer. The bigger businesses out here, like anything that relieves stress, like taking yoga, getting massages, being in a peaceful relationship. You want to do anything. You want to avoid people who stress you out. Like it only if they are family member. And when I say family member, immediate family member. Like if they're your child or something, you just got to deal with them. But if they like a distant relative, you can love them from afar. And if they're a coworker or something, sometimes you got to limit your interactions with them. But you got to just avoid the stress as much as possible. Minimize it, because the stress itself is a killer. All right? I want y'all to really think about that. After I hear this, you know what? Take some time out and just relax. I would say this in general. Try to relax at least once every day. Just take some time. It could be meditating. It could be taking a good walk. It could be just sitting down, chilling out, watching some crazy show. Whatever relieves your stress, please do it. Minimize it as best as possible. So that's all I have for today. Keep rising, everyone. Peace and blessings.